Bounty Hunters. Life on the blockchain.
Welcome back to Bounty Hunters. And today we have Mr. Merkle Bonsai with us. Good day, sir.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
I love this guy's handle. Fantastic.
I'm still sad that I'm not getting the first after the search of this nickname on Google, but on the other hand, if you Google Merkle Bonsai, you will see some papers that got me inspired, actually.
Okay, cool. And obviously Merkle tree, Merkle
Mm-hmm.
Bonsai, a little play on that.
I saw a paper that was about crafting the very imbalanced Merkle trees. So you
Mm-hmm.
have some branches of height, I don't know, 2, 3, another of height 10. And the researcher called them the Merkle bonsais because he was manual crafting the trees.
And who was the guy that coined that term?
I do not remember, sorry. You can Google it. It's like dozens of papers about that, and I'm unable to find the original one.
Okay.
You know how it happens sometimes.
Oh yeah. So Mr. Merkle Bonsai here is another top 50 elite white hat bounty hunter. And I was just looking at some of your, I guess you had a tweet pin from 2023. And you mind if
Yeah.
I say that's basically how you started? You said, with zero Solidity knowledge and just some common sense by programming experience, found my first 100K crit in the first month, then got a few more during the few next months. I do have a day job, so it's more of a hobby. Is it still a hobby for you? Is this full time?
Oh no, it's still a hobby actually.
Oh,
Uh,
shit.
oh no, it's not that bad actually because I switched it to building my own things based on about it, so it's more like a replacement for investments.
Beautiful. And so your biggest bugs were, could you remind us? I saw Oasis.
Yeah, actually, yeah, Oasis was the biggest one, and it got me into the blockchains and distributed validators technology, DVT, and it was really a totally different world here because, to be honest, I got kind of bored with EVM stuff because it's more like every second project is Uniswap fork or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
the coolest things, the coolest bugs you can find are happening in blockchains itself now,
Mm.
since everyone is doing their L2.
That's true. Yeah, and they're always choosing. Like I read your write up on Oasis. Maybe if you want to give a high level overview or however you want to talk about it,
Oh,
but basically just they didn't just say, hey, we're going to copy everyone else. They kind of made it very unique. Like you mentioned, they basically did their own kind of proof of work.
yeah, I actually wasn't correct about this.
Okay.
Uh, Guys corrected me because they actually forked uh, BNB logic. It was a BNB, but they had thrown away the validations in Go part. So they had a contract that are not validated, but there was several checks in core itself, and they just threw it away. Probably
Hmm.
they didn't know what they were doing.
Do you, because in your write up too, you were kind of saying that you didn't know why they went with a certain method. And
I still do not understand the concept of this distributed proof of stake. I do not like the concept that you have more and more abstractions on a level of a chain itself.
mm,
It feels like you're bloating a lot of stuff, and what Light is doing is seems a bit better for me
all right,
because
maybe
you keep the
give
cost
everyone
more.
like a basic overview of what their system, how it worked, so they kind of have some background.
Basically, you have 24 validators, and everyone is just basically staking their money. It's more like liquid staking, but you choose out of 24 guys or something like that. And the one, as far as I remember, the one who are getting the most as a stake or like biggest 5 guys are doing the validation job. So it's a bit of gambling, it's a bit of liquid staking, and it's a bit of something else. And I really, for me, it really seems kind of weird here about how it works.
Okay. And but this is one where you could still buy in to be a validator with a certain amount of token stake, right? Or was it completely
Uh,
permissioned?
I don't know the current state of those guys because it doesn't seem they are doing some public stuff. And about the BNB chain, I don't know honestly. I didn't dive into the BNB chain. I only checked that they have this thing secured, and that's it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a huge fan of BNB chain. Actually, I still do not get the idea why they do they need this chain. For me, it was more like
To
they
gamble, of
just.
course.
I mean, like, what are the benefits of having your own chain that is kind of similar to normal one? I understand the base concept that you have less gas price, smaller gas price. You have faster blocks, and it's bringing us more to real time than something else. So base itself has a clear understanding why they're doing something, and BNB still questionable for me. I'm not judging guys here. I just didn't get it. I didn't understand it, and that's and nothing else.
Well, I think you'd want your own. I mean, BNB's been around. That was the first kind of
You're
gambling
right.
high speed chain. And I guess you'd want to do that if you want to control the ecosystem. They had Binance as well linked up to it.
Mm-hmm.
You can cut the flow off if you get hacked, cut the bridges. You can roll back the chain. I mean, you have complete control.
Like Solana does.
As they say, I've never looked at it still. Yeah.
Solana is, by the way, like really breaking my mind. I still trying to understand this whole concept that you have addresses that are contracts, addresses that are storages. I mean, I get the idea, and I even get the beauty of the concept that you can move any assets you want, how much you want, but just make the things correct in the end of transaction. And this is really cool. This is a totally different world.
Dude, what do you think? Like, what do you think actually goes forward? Like all these technologies, you're talking Solana, you have Ethereum, you have anyone who wants to make a chain, L1s, L2s. Like, what do you think? And then different languages. You have Move, Cairo, Solidity, all these things. What do you think actually makes it, say, 5, maybe even 10? I mean, let's just say 5 years from now. Do you think all these
Uh,
will still be around, or are we just in the phase where we don't know what's going to work?
I think that we will end up with something like Solidity, something EVM based. Maybe everyone will switch to Viper. I don't know, but I guess that something EVM-ish will still be there because we have too much EVM everywhere, and someone will clearly become a winner. And I think we will get something Rust related because Rust fanboys are everywhere.
I think you're
Not
right.
judging, but
Yeah.
uh, I don't know if you know or not, but TypeScript announced a few, maybe months or two ago, that they are switching the compiler itself from JavaScript to Go. And you go to this tweet and you see instantly like 100 replies. Why not trust? Why not trust? Why not trust? So Rust fans are everywhere, and we physically cannot ignore this fact. So
Are you
something
are
will be
you a
still
Rust
written in
fan?
Rust. Not a lot, but I generally prefer high level languages. So at least it's better than C.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's too low level, but I've just dabbled in it a bit. I actually have the book here on my desk, and I've read to page 10. But I've looked at it a bit, and it doesn't seem that cryptic.
Oh no, I understand totally, but it's just more about you will either end up doing the simple stuff, you will either end up doing something that is very similar to high level languages. I don't know you. I don't know. You will start writing like in Go style or JavaScript style, whatever, or you will be doing the insane low level stuff. And I clearly do not understand the whole concept. Why use Rust or C if you're not doing really complicated things?
Yeah, I guess it depends what you want to do. Do you think you know Vectorized? Are you aware of him?
Vectorized ETH.
Yeah, the guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that guy can even look at a high level language, or do you think his mind would just explode? It's just too simple for him. He has to. His mind functions like an M4.
Uh, it's a good question, but uh, yeah, it's like memory is loading. It's a guy who wrote the Solidity contracts.
Yeah, that
Uh,
guy, a beast.
uh, it's a really good question. I don't know him personally, so I cannot say for him. But what I see in his code that he's more about optimization of stuff, and if he will be able to optimize some things on high level, he will probably do it. So it's not. I do not feel that this guy is about doing something specifically on certain language. It's more about he is using the tools.
Mm. Yeah, maybe
Uh,
it's a
I'm
certain mindset.
I may be wrong. It's just an impression here.
Yeah, true. Interesting. I was curious about you talk about optimization. I was scrolling through your tweets, and I
Hmm.
saw that at some point you said, "Hey, I'm quitting vaping." Is this still
Yeah.
the case?
Yeah, I'm still actually using the nicotine chewing gum because I cannot like fully quit, but it was way better, and
Do you feel
I
like nicotine is beneficial for what you do, for bug
no,
hunting?
it's more about like I'm taking the smallest amount, and it's more about I don't know, it's something in the brain that's okay. I want it. Then I take the chewing gum and I stop wanting for it. I actually feel that if I will be able to somehow replace the real nicotine chewing gums with fake gums that has no nicotine, I will still be able to trick the brain actually,
Do you
because I
drink
feel that
coffee as well with the nicotine?
uh it's not related.
No.
Actually, I didn't like to take them together.
Do you? It's interesting because I'm a
Yeah, I know
normal.
most of the people prefer to wake up, have a coffee, have a cigarette, especially in Balkans, I guess.
Hmm.
But no, for me, it was more about tea story. So I like coffee. I love waking up and drinking the coffee, but I really didn't like the mix of this this taste. That coffee taste is somehow interacting the juicy and sweet flavors of a vape, and this doesn't feel good. Maybe for a cigarette it would be different, but I never smoked a cigarette. It just somehow vape started with vapes.
I need to start profiling people on this podcast to see if they stack like a monster plus regular rolled cigarette, vape. I need to do a big survey here. There has to be some optimal dosage of stimulants to crank through all this code all day. I don't know what it is.
Mm, I'm not advising to do this, but as far as I know, ADHD treatment can help here if you really have ADHD. Because for me, I was diagnosed with a mild version, and some of treatments were really helping a lot.
Like what treatments? What do you mean?
Uh,
Vapes?
uh, no, 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 no.
Nicotine gum?
I mean the pills for ADHD.
Ah, okay.
So I will not promote any specific brand to buy it off label. It's always better to ask the doctor. But if you cannot concentrate, you might be having ADHD, and it's not like a bad thing. It's more
Yeah.
about like thinking in different manner. But actually, I still feel that I tricked the doctor because I feel that I just have a big part of a brain allocated for totally different functionality than normal people. So it feels doesn't feel like what I see and what I read about other ADHD guys, and it feels more about I don't know that's I'm optimized for something else.
Would you say you're on the spectrum?
No.
Would you say you're high functioning, introvert, or extrovert?
Oh damn it! It really feels like a profiling. It's really hard to say because I'm I'm totally sure I'm introvert, but my girl is absolutely sure that I'm an extrovert.
Hmm. Who
So
knows?
I really didn't know.
Who knows? And you said you're in the Balkans?
No, 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 nope.
No? Okay.
You're
Somewhere around
confusing
there.
me with a Pashov, I guess.
All right. Where are you at? Can you disclose the
I'm in
region?
Bangkok. I'm in Bangkok for last few years. I really love the city and the vibes of the city. It's really good here.
And we missed each other then. I was at ETH Bangkok. Did
Yeah,
not
I
make
was running all across the DEF CON before, after a few days. So I guess you were there at the DEF CON, right?
it. No, I missed it. 'Cause I'm a
Re-
moron. And then I showed up just for the conference, side events, whatever.
Only for a security summit.
Oh, yeah. Cool, man. Very cool. Well, hey, I want to talk about something else. So, the Oasis bug that
Hmm.
you made a good chunk of change on. I think that is the new record for getting paid. Because you said 7 months you were in
Hmm.
negotiation for this bug.
Yeah,
Is that true? That's
absolutely.
fucking insane. 7 months you
Uh,
had to wait.
well, it was more about I really didn't know why they paid because they quitted Immunify. And as far as I know, there was even an issue with that, really big issue with that at some moment of time, but they solved it somehow that some teams were coming to Immunify. They were set up in the bounties. A lot of guys were running in and reporting tons of bugs, and instead of doing the payments, they were just quitting the platform without paying anything, and I
Right.
was sure it was the case. But somehow, even if I guys worked it out for me and made the magic happen.
Somehow. So you think their internal mediation team, you pretty much had a positive result as long as you can factor in
Yeah,
the time value of money there for 7 months.
I'm absolutely sure that it's a really positive story. But if someone will encounter the same situation, I will definitely say that you need to do a lot of work yourself because for Immunify, I think it was still the time when they only had a percentage of a payout, so they were financially motivated to help me, but not that much. And it's always a story about caring about yourself. And if you are not caring about it, why anyone else should? So you will have to manually research on every part of their Zendesk guides and every part of public documentation they have to argue. So basically, you find them the arguments, you find them why you're right, they do the rest. They will do it slowly, but I guess this is a better thing.
Mm. I mean, I'm glad you got a good outcome on it. Do you only go through the platforms, or do you just like how do you hunt? What's your method?
Oh, it's really complicated thing, but what I definitely figured out is that first thing you need to really be curious about certain project, and without it, nothing will work because you will get tired of studying the project, and that's it. And then after that, you will have to isolate something you want to stare at for hours. So I usually start just editing the code and removing it, rewriting it in my own personal manner. Uh, I tried AI for this nowadays, and some of them are really good at throwing away the stuff and rewriting it slowly.
Wait, you take the code and then you rewrite it in your style?
Not rewrite. But yeah, partially rewrite. I usually just remove all the comments, remove all the events because it's nothing to mess around with them usually, except it's a breach. If it's a breach, I will only leave the events that matter.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, then I start to rewrite every if then throw with a require because negative invariants are easier to check in my head than positive ones. And then I start. When I was just hacking from a laptop, it was more about some personal comfortable style. But now I'm just doing the every function declaration, every line on a single line on a large external display. It feels really good.
How many monitors is your setup?
Uh, just one. It's 27-inch 4K display. I think it's Samsung, but I'm not sure. I really don't remember.
But do you find more bugs on a laptop or a big display? I've
Uh,
personally done more on a laptop for some weird reason, a 13-inch
me
screen.
too. Me too, actually. And uh, for me, there is one more thing that works good. It's contextual story. So what I usually do when I come to a new city to do some stuff, I usually find some really cheap coffee shop or cafe, whatever, that has a normal Wi-Fi, maybe outlets, and I start working there. And every time I come down to this cafe or coffee shop, uh, I have a context in my mind that I'm time framed here. I'm in Bangkok. I usually take like until dawn. So it's more like 6 hours, something like that. Maybe 8 hours, maybe 4 hours. Depends on when will I go there. I usually go for dinner and start sitting there with a coffee. I take like two, three of them, maybe four, and I have in my head that I'm here to do this thing. And when you train enough, your brain will start to force you into doing this thing every time.
Repetition is key. I agree.
No, it's more like I don't know. Have you seen the NFC tags that do something that when you come like I don't know come home when you come to the work you have some triggers and in our minds it's also triggers. So you arrive somewhere and if you know that this specific context is associated with work, you will do the work. My friends a few years ago had two absolutely identical laptops because the one was given him on a job and it was like MacBook Pro, maybe 14, 16, whatever. So he really liked this laptop and was using it all the time, but he understood that he cannot switch between work and personal things, and he bought the identical laptop, like absolutely identical, and just like he has work MacBook, personal MacBook, they're identical, but he's switching the context in his mind when he closes one laptop and opens another.
Okay. I can see that. Yeah, that's getting into bug bounty hunting mode with common behavioral traits and like a
Mm-hmm.
scenario around you and actions. I like
Uh,
that. Get you
yeah.
mentally fixed.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Okay.
But generally about like searching for something, I usually do the thing that I open like 10, 20, 30 projects and look around for them, look around through them. I give myself some time to wake up in months ago and like, aha, here's a bug. Just because it's something processing in the background. I don't know how it works exactly.
And is this so you open 20 to 30 projects at once from
Usually,
DeFi
yeah.
Llama, from ImmuneFi? What do you do?
So again, please, I got. Can you repeat, please?
I say, how do you get that first thread? Do you go on ImmuneFi and you pop open
Ah,
20
yeah.
projects or DeFi
Uh,
Llama?
yeah. I usually go to Monifier or platforms like Cantina. To be honest, I think that I have like 300 gigabytes of everything installed, and it's probably at least half of all Minify projects on my laptop.
Just so you could do keyword searches, stuff like that.
Because it's everything is indexed and it's way easier to search around, and it's way easier than use the source graph to search for something,
Mm-hmm.
because you have at least a context that you know that all those projects have a bug bounties and you really care about them.
And do you have a cron job going, like a daily git pull to update everything?
No, I usually check for changes if I'm getting in the idea of something. By the way, I wanted to ask you a thing. What do you think about the coming Ethereum update? Do you think we will get a lot of hacks there?
With which update?
I'm specifically looking at
With Pectra?
EIP. Yeah, Pectra.
Oh,
Next plus
oh,
one.
that's a great question. Um, that's what the test nets are for. I know they spent a lot of time on this. I haven't seen the results of the competition. I hope some things have been found, but I know that there's always something out there, man. I mean, hopefully it's nothing devastating if there is a bug found, like with everything, but is there going to be a bug in Pectra that's not found? Yes, I will say that with very high certainty. But will it be found eventually? Hopefully so. I mean, this is just always the case. This is the nature of code and the nature of humans. But I think that with this big review and the time through test nets and everything, that high level bugs, the chance that they're reduced significantly is quite high. That's my hope.
Mhm. No, I'm specifically thinking about several EIPs that are. I don't know, actually, maybe they even throw it away, but account abstraction and
Mm-hmm.
triggerable exits maybe are sounding like something that can be exploited in the wild, and
Have
probably
you
some
looked at
projects will be. Hmm?
Have you looked at 4337 yet?
Which one? Two
Four
seven?
three 4337. I think that's it. It's the what's it called? It's the entry point contracts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know the name of the of the
Oh,
ERC. Not, I can't even think of it.
yeah, I got it's. Yeah, I remember it now. That kind of abstraction.
Yeah, account abstraction. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Have you taken a look at anything? Because they've pumped out. I think they're at version 0.8 now, and they're just testing in prod. But the interesting thing is with this is because I submitted a bug on Hack and Proof for these guys, and nothing big, just like a DOS bug, and it was a
Mm-hmm.
duplicate, whatever. But the funny thing is like they're putting out these contracts. They're saying, "Hey, go ahead and use these," and projects are plugging them in, and then they'll post 0.7, 0.8. But the thing is, like projects, they don't switch. Like you could go look at the early contracts and they're still being used. And so I don't know if the devs are aware of these bugs that have been reported and they're just using them anyway. It's not important to them. I'm not sure, but this is a good
Mm-hmm.
angle for people to look at is look at those entry point contracts, look who's interacting through them and say, hey, what bugs have been fixed and what haven't. And then maybe you can find another bug too on the early ones and the projects that are using them.
Mm-hmm. Uh, yeah, I'm really just thinking about what will happen with transaction origin stuff.
I think they've had a lot of time. Everyone's had a lot of time to look at that and prepare for it.
I'm not sure that much. I mean that Ethereum team itself and the biggest protocols are safe, of course. They updated in time, but we have a ton of projects that are running. Some of them are kind of dead, but some tokens are logged there, and
Mm-hmm.
we can expect wave of hacks. I think after in May, something in May.
Or it might be a battle with white hat rescues and hackers. Right when it goes
Yeah.
live, everyone's got their scripts ready.
Mhm. But by the way, the SEAL team and Immunify that's launched a safe harbor. Huge respects from me. It's really good initiative in that case.
I agree. Have you been involved in any of those projects with Safe Harbor?
I wasn't involved in a safe harbor because Honestly, on one hand, yeah, you can try to save the funds, and it's not a good behavior for me. But I would prefer to not interfere, because if you will do something wrong, you can do something worse. And if I will see something going on, I will probably reach someone from SEAL team instead.
I would agree. I don't have the skill set that these guys do with that immediacy
Mm-hmm.
where to intervene like that. And I think if I did, I would be too under a time crunch and possibly fuck something up. So yeah, I would
Mm-hmm.
definitely, unless you know what you're doing and you want to do the white hat rescue, just talk to the guys who do it all the time.
Last time I spent half an hour trying to recall how to actually execute transaction in Foundry. So it's probably way better to report.
Yeah, I don't know how these guys do it. Like when a hack comes out, and then the guy there. I mean, there still is. There's like a race for just
Mm-hmm.
cred to flex on Twitter and say, "Hey, I'm the first one that found out how this hack was carried out." Man, some of the guys that do that are just really, really good because I dig through it and it takes a lot of time. And props to the guys that put it out very quick. I always love reading them, but I'm not the guy for that. No way. I like taking a lot of time to look at things.
Yeah, on one hand, yeah. On another, I guess it's more about being familiar with nice tools. I think that Tenderly is helping a lot in that case, and EVM storage have been helping with it a lot, but sadly it's discontinued now.
It's gone.
Yeah.
What are your alternatives? Do you have something good?
Nope. I'm still
Yeah.
there searching for. I tried the, I think, DDAP version today, and it just failed.
Mm.
It was like, I'm unable to deconstruct the state object. Sorry, pal.
Do you use Slither? They're
Oh, not
to pull your
really.
slots.
Not a lot. As I said, I'm mostly in blockchains and all things around right now. So contracts are more like, I really like diving into the uh, pre-installed contracts, Genesis contracts, and they are acting weirdly sometimes, and they are relying on an installed memory.
Mm.
I don't know how to call it, but they're relying on engine memory instead of actual slots and stuff.
For the precompiles.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, not the precompiles. In some projects, they will have contracts that are literally Solidity contracts, but they already exist at certain address in a Genesis event, and they sometimes may be handled in a different manner. So you have a contract, and for example, like as a story, they had extra checks before executing the contract that are executed in Go.
Okay.
So this kind of thing. But right now, I'm fighting my nemesis. I'm trying to find for 1 year already. I'm trying to find any bug in D gate. I really want to find some ZK bug, but I cannot. I
Well,
just want to find ZK bug.
I thought you found something in D-Gate.
Yeah, yes and no. It's like, it's more about the bug that is already mitigated, because guys already solved the thing, but
Was
this
this the Exodus mode? Was that this is
no. It was more about the privileged accounts that operator may potentially steal something.
okay.
But it is wrong, because the operator needs to be. They needed to have account zero with address zero for that, and they already initialized the address zero with an address.
Mhm.
So it was more like, oh yeah, we didn't expect this way to exploit, but we already mitigated it for another reason. Thank you. Goodbye. So they paid like a fraction of some, but I usually just like, you know, you just want to get the full bounties here.
Yeah.
You feel not fully satisfied with such a report.
The D-Gate was at, I forget, some crypto event I was at. Maybe it was ETH Naples or something like that. I went to one
Mhm.
and I was talking to him, and I realized they had this 1.1 million bounty. And so I spent like, I don't know, the next 4 hours just looking at their code. And yeah, I'd love to find something in there.
Uh,
Nothing yet.
I mean, I really learned a lot about ZK circuits while using them, while playing around with them, but still not a lot of things to figure out.
But I mean, a lot of it was forked off loop ring, right?
Yeah, and loop ring is, I don't know, it's kind of zombie right now, I think.
Mm-hmm. I think it was a
Uh,
Chinese project, from what I recall.
mhm.
I don't know what happened to it.
I saw some Chinese trails. I didn't know it's maybe like partially funded by Chinese guys, maybe fully funded. I don't know. Maybe just the whole Chinese guys, but such a tools are usually working in a different manner. I
Mm-hmm.
guess because you do not need to prove yourself with bug bounty when you can prove yourself with your identity being controlled by China.
Yeah, true.
I think this is a different way for them to mitigate the issue.
What about? So you're talking about trying to find a bug in ZK. Do you
hmm
have any cryptography background? Do you look at circuits? How are you? How are you kind of approaching that?
I actually was trying to mess around with the logical part, uh, not the circuits part, but it's more about learning the thing because I started to research and I figured a lot about elliptic curves. Actually, what I found out, it made everything very simple for me. Not on a math level, but on a logical level, like how it works. If you want to, I can explain you in like 5 minutes.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
Oh, okay, so we have a classic elliptic curves, and what they actually do in a functional abstraction way, they are giving you the ability to add two numbers and see the result or subtract whatever. And you can do it in two manners. You can do it on a hidden layer and on a visible layer, and you always have something that matches here. So that's why you can prove that if you add public key and signature, if you get a private key and a signature, you can verify it with a public key because it's a result of equation. And you can do this addition operation really like anyhow. Whatever you need, you can do it. It's not the big deal here. And ZKs are based on a different way to build elliptic curves. I'm explaining a bit wrong, but you will get the idea anyway. They have not only addition but multiplication. And since all the elliptic curves are actually have a boundaries that are making them not just direct line like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but they have it's like a ring. It's actually called the ring in mathematics that you reach the biggest number, the threshold number, and you get again zero. That's why you cannot have a values higher than a certain value. And basically, with this value, when you have addition, you can add also subtraction. But when you have a multiplication, you can do a lot of operations here because when you have addition, subtraction, and multiplication, and everything is looped here, you can implement the primitive logical machine. You can implement the code like assembly language because assembly language is actually mostly operating with such terms. And you have again this virtual layer, hidden layer, and exposed layer, and you also can prove that inputs and outputs of equation are working in a certain manner. That's it.
I feel like I'm not the smartest person on the podcast. You have now taken that crown. I'm the guy that would listen to this lecture, and then I'd need to actually physically look at the paper, like with pictures and play with it, because it would just fly right over my head.
The concept of rings is really like it's just like a buffer overflow. You have 0x f f f f f. You add
Mhm.
one, you get zeros. That's a basic ring. That's it.
Mm. I need to look more into it, no doubt.
I understand totally because if you will get inside the ZK circuits and the math behind it, uh, you will get your mind blown because it was more like for something like 8-dimensional space on a sphere in terms of mathematics. I got my mind blown off and I had to study for a lot of times to figure out simply how it works. I still do not get the math part because I'm not sure anyone in the world is getting the math part fully about the elliptic curves. They're really insane and strange. And okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe someone is fully aware of it because otherwise we wouldn't be getting the new ones. But for
There's
me,
probably
it's
a handful of guys that
yeah,
totally
yeah.
get it.
I actually have a nice story about such a group of people. Uh, so you know how GPS works, right?
Right.
Wrong, because
What did I get wrong?
GPS.
Satellites orbiting the Earth.
Yeah, but uh, GPS is calibrated for certain points on the world that are located all across like Europe, Asia, America, whatever. And the question of like you have a few physical points on a sphere, and they are used as basic points for all the coordinates. And sometimes they are moving because like tectonic movements or something else, whatever. And there is only 11 people in the world, as I was told, who can solve the equation that is answering if this station moved actually uh, relevant to the satellites or the satellites moved relevant to the station. Because imagine you have like it's thought to report that this station is 5 centimeters to the left, and you need to figure out if the station itself is moving or satellites are broken.
Well, hold on. So if I have a
Mhm.
GPS and I get a
Uh,
10-digit grid,
mm, I mean, okay.
that 10-digit grid will still point to the same spot on
Mm,
Earth
nope. Uh,
with what kind of variance?
GPS is giving you the coordinates in imaginary Earth that is like virtual Earth that is working for satellites, and there is like pins in the physical world, these labs that are connecting real Earth to virtual Earth. Because you will get the address in this virtual Earth, but you will need to take some time to figure out that you're really at this location. Because if the continent is drifting, or you got earthquakes that change the terrain, and gravity points started to move, you need to fix all of this.
What the
So
fuck? I'm so confused.
yeah,
I feel like I
so
need to get high as anything. I don't even understand what's going on right now. There's a virtual what the fuck?
uh,
This is a good off-topic conversation though.
yeah. So basically, what I was told, I don't know if it's true or not, but there is 11 people in the world who are able to understand how this all works and solve the thing because it cannot be solved uh, automatically. It needs to be solved manually for certain cases to understand if the satellites are like imagine you have a meteorite that flew around the solar system and moved the satellites with its gravitational power, and you need to recalculate where they are exactly now because
And is that ZK moon math?
Yeah, something like that. So it's
If you
really
can
like
figure that shit out, you can hack D-Gate and collect a giant bounty. I think that's what he's trying to tell us.
uh, it will be a really cool thing if someone will be able to, because I'm really curious. I feel that there's something, but I cannot find it.
Hey, so when you look at this, have you ever looked at some of the JavaScript libraries for producing some of these proofs? Because they've come out with, like, I've seen bugs pop up where they look, you'll have all this complicated math, but then the bug that was found was like, oh, we forgot to hash one of the leaves, like just a very
Mm-hmm.
simplistic type of bug. And so some of these libraries have had publicly known issues. Have you looked at that vector at all?
Yeah, I heard about it, but think this is not the case.
Mm.
I was planning to look for all across the scroll because I wasn't ready at certain moment of time, but I think I'm kind of ready now for ZK layers and ZK chains. But for the gate, it's there is no library that is relevant to the thing. It feels like they have everything checked in ZK checks. I don't know how to tell
do,
because
do you
I
feel like
found yeah, I
go,
just
go ahead.
found a few bugs there, but all of them are handled. But what I was considering overcomplicated proofs.
Do you feel like this is a good healthy obsession to like pick one protocol and just be totally obsessed about it?
I'm not saying that I'm doing it every day. It's more like I'm coming back to the thing every few months when I understand that I know more now.
Mm. Good tactic. I do the
Mm-hmm.
same. I have a lot of things that I've revisited so many times. Seller Bridge, piece of shit. How many fucking times I've looked at the same protocols just because I think they're really interesting. And then secretly, they probably just piss me off because I can't find any vulnerabilities in them. I definitely have these.
Yeah, it will be nice.
All right, let me transition here. I want to get, and I hope, goddamn it, Merkle Bonsai, you better be prepared. A little alpha drop for the podcast, and I need a sound right here. Alpha drop. Do you want to go first? Do you have
Yeah,
anything, sir?
it's not like a really full alpha, but uh, what I'm understood about those AI assistants like Cursor, Windsurf,
Mm-hmm.
everything that is subscriptional is shit because every time you pay $20 to Cursor, they actually try to optimize all the queries, and you're getting worse responses, you're getting worse quality. And only really good AI assistant for the code I found is Cloud Code because it's billing you every time, and they are financially motivated to make him think more and gives a better result because it consumes more tokens.
Claude Code. What is
Yeah.
this? I just use Claude $20 a month. Is this a different plan?
This is a different. It's
Oh, I
something
have
that
the
you.
shit one, right?
Yeah.
I'm in the same
No.
thing as Cursor.
Claude, OpenAI, and other guys that are like giving you the direct interface are good because it's for them to show you that they're good, they're high quality. I do not think they're trying to cut the cost. Instead, they will probably cut the limits for you.
Hmm.
But if you're using some tools that is API built, API usage built, it's probably going to give you way higher results than something that is subscriptional like IDs. Uh, Cloud Code is a CLI tool that is giving you the interface like normal Claude, but it's just going across all your files. It can look for them, it can read them, write them if you accept it. And I'm actually using it to explain a lot of things like this is a file, no idea what's going on here, just explain me. It really helps.
Okay. Yeah, this is new to me. Claude Code. This is a new product for them. Cool. I didn't
Yeah,
even
they released it
notice.
like a month or two ago.
Ah, interesting. There's always something. And do you do any local AI?
Yeah, I actually did a lot of local AI. Only issue I'm getting is that my I'm using a MacBook and it's getting overheated every time I'm trying to run some model. So I usually do it when I'm working on with a monitor on a table, so it's overheated. I don't care. But for cafe working, I'm not using it because it's like taking the whole battery in 30 minutes.
Right. And what are you
I
using it for with regard to finding bugs?
I actually just connected it to my local IDE. I'm a huge fan of JetBrains products. I prefer them way more than VS Code, but it's just personal. And they have, even if you're not paying for AI features, you can actually connect the local Llama models or Gen models, and they will be simply running on your laptop doing the same thing. You can download the DeepSeek, you can download Llama, whatever, Code Llama, Mistral, and it will be running. I actually specifically bought this insane Mac with 128 gigs of RAM, specifically to run large models. And turned out it was worth it because some models are 70 gigs large.
Yeah. Why do you use JetBrains ID? I've never heard of this. I'm looking at it now over VS
Uh,
Code.
yeah, it's they have a bunch of tools all around, and one for C++, one for Java, one for JavaScript. I just purchased the whole set and using it. For me, it's more like, I don't know how to explain, but it's able to index everything across a project, and you can find anything with ease. Not by regex, not by something else, but you can literally do everything, and you can find everything from it. There may be some days that I'm not even switching back and forth to something else. I can spend the whole work day just within this IDE because it can do everything for me. Terminal, search, Git interaction, whatever.
I bet they're very comparable, but I have to try JetBrains. Never heard of it till now. Maybe it's something cool.
Um, you definitely can try. At least give a try for IDEA. It's their flagship product that can do everything except, I think, C++.
Okay, cool. All right. I'm dropping some alpha. It's a very simplistic alpha compared to what Juicy Alpha was just dropped. I'm going to just say that during, I guess we're in a bear market again until all these tariff questions get answered and blah, blah, blah. Who knows when it'll pump up
Mhm.
again. But low token prices for governance tokens. I always think this is so interesting because it's overlooked. And when we go mega bear, if we go mega bear, and if you look now, I mean, token price discounts for popular governance tokens, especially for smaller projects, can be at a crazy discount for the power that they offer. So they might guard massive multi sigs or time locks that no one thinks about might be vulnerable for these governance attacks. And I think, while technically, if you submit a bug for a governance attack, it's it might be tough to get it kind of confirmed, but these are vectors
I
to look
agree.
at. Yeah, I mean, it's okay.
hmm
It's theoretical, but a whale's a whale. You want to buy a token for a couple million, and then maybe you have 50 million you control with that power. This is quite possible. Some government tokens were $2, and maybe now they're 8 cents. And the quorum, none of that stuff is usually updated at all. So a very cool thing to take a look at. Very interesting.
That's smart. I never thought about it actually.
Oh shit!
I was
Dropping
totally
alpha.
sure that every token is representing at least the amount of TVL. Like, it's really stupid if you have a token total amount that is less than your TVL. It's why? Just why?
I think things just fall to the wayside, and a lot of the DAO
Mm-hmm.
decision making processes get in the way. But there's also, if you just browse time lock contracts, like I think the Open Zeppelin implementation is great,
Mm-hmm.
but it depends on the inputs, right? People can have things with zero delays, very short delays. There's all kinds of weird inputs that people could input, especially with voting power. All these things that's why it's good to not just check the code, but actually read the storage, check what variables are set. And you never know what weird angles you can come up with or if you can take over governance.
That's. I hope this won't happen actually, and I'm more worried about this Lazarus story. Um, Actually, I feel really. I'm not saying that Zach and the other guys are doing the bad job, but it's really so convenient to blame the North Korea for everything,
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
like it's so easy to say for everyone because you will not get to do anything else except state that it's North Korea. I mean, I personally think that Lazarus may have some relation to North Korea, but what I feel is more like they may be just using North Korean government as I know they can give them money laundering services, and they are not actually North Koreans. Uh, I think this is a more likely case here.
I haven't checked all the receipts that Zach puts out
Hmm.
there. I mean, the guy has some pretty in-depth analysis on these hacks, how they actually trace it to North Korea. I assume they have a method. Honestly, when I don't know about a topic, I'm staying neutral on it. I don't know. I assume they've done
Hmm.
their diligence on it, but you know, could be right.
I was trying to figure out the details, and uh, only thing I was able to find that uh, North Korea was bragging around having super cool hacker team, and that's it. That's basically what everything is based upon. And uh, this team may not be really North Koreans. They may be just calibrating something else. And for North Koreans, it's a good thing to brag about. They can show their power in the net space. And for team, it's better because no one is searching for anything in North Korea. For investigators, it's better because you can just close the case.
Yeah.
Like it's really very convenient. I don't know. I don't know why, but it feels like really too convenient to be true.
I'm kind of skeptical as well, and I do like that because it
Hmm.
makes sense, and that's what governments would do is point everyone towards just a big actor that's, oh, hey, look, it's very evil. Look, they're hacking all the protocols. It was them again. But hey, man, the field of intelligence and everything
Yeah.
is a specific craft. So if we are being deceived, we wouldn't even know.
Yeah. So I really feel that to get this kind of knowledge to understand how these things work, you need to work in that field for quite a while to participate in public projects and private projects, but it's not something you can just come from the side.
Yeah, yeah. No, I hear you. Well, cool, Mister Merkle Bonsai. We have hit 1 hour. Anything else you'd like to say to our audience before we see them
Just
on the
thank you for the
blockchain?
invitation.
Hey, my pleasure, man. Thank you for joining. All right, everyone. That's it for today, and we'll see you next time on the blockchain.